you wait around for one of these Assassin's Creed games, and they only go and announce 3 in one go.
I know it's one more than last year.
What are those guys up to? Making a lot of Assassin's Creed games, apparently. So, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China was a game that we knew about beforehand. Yes. We knew that was coming. We knew it was a side-scroller, and we knew that there might be other episodes or other games coming around. It turns out there's 3 of them, right? The other 2 being India and Russia, later down the line. 2
are pretty cool locations.
Yeah, 3 pretty cool locations. I'm alright with all of those.
They've been specially picked because they're ones that have already had Assassins introduced.
Yes,
They're ones that fans have wanted to see more of.
And they tie into some graphic novels or some storylines that have already been done.
Well, I think you'll find that.
I think you'll find
that there are. So there's one Assassin's Creed Brahmin that came out last year, which is about India.
Okay.
Which ties...
Is this a graphic novel?
Yes.
Okay.
Which ties into the 2nd episode, and then the 3rd episode set in Russia.
Yep.
There were 2 graphic novels, The Chain and the Fall, about this chap who was around
this chap.
back when the Romanovs were being shot.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So it's the continued theme of the assassins being involved with every single major historical event.
Around, you know?
Alright, cool.
Who'd have thought it?
So, you went along to the preview where you played the China episode, which they are going to be released as like standalone games.
Yes. You can buy them all separately, or they've said that there'll be a season pass, so you can get access to them all 3. And you can play them in any order, except it makes sense to play them 1, 2, 3, because apparently there's some kind of central plot strand, which I have a theory about.
Okay.
Which you can ask me about if you want to get really bored.
Right.
So there will be some
graphic novels.
So there will be some kind of central theme.
Okay, cool. Well, what's it like? So it is a kind of 2.5D side scroller. Looks very fast actually from the gameplay.
Yeah. There are some levels which are fast and which are very much about getting from A to B before the columns that you're climbing along collapse, and the temple that you're running through gets
This sounds like an endless runner.
Destroyed or. It's some of them. They're quite fun, but the ones I prefer, the levels that I liked most, were the ones where you could take your time, pick your way through a level, and guards were patrolling, and you had to pick them off one by one. You were given sort of a broad view of the level to start off with, and then you zoom back in, and it's like, okay, so I've got to get over there, but to do that I have to get a key from this guard.
Much like kind of freedom in that respect, like to mess around.
It's very much like, so there's a definite path through the levels, but you feel like you've been given a set of tools to achieve it how you want, and the levels themselves are set up in a way that you could approach things in different ways, and there are multiple paths.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, this is... I haven't played it myself, but from watching the gameplay that you got whilst you're over there, with the vision cones on the guards, there are a few gadgets to mess around with, which suggests there will be some kind of freedom for the player to try different things. Like you mentioned, the kind of bright red blood splatters, and the fact that you can carry bodies around and dump them and hide them, and that's a cool mechanic. It seems like a not quite as good version of Mark of the Ninja. Which, by the way, is incredible and one of my favourite stealth games, and is also a 2.5D-ish side-scroller thing.
Yeah, there are certainly lots of influences in it, and I think that is a definite one. And I think they've actually name-checked that in the past.
Oh, right? Okay.
Mirror's Edge is a big influence.
So like the red pipes and stuff to show
I quite like that.
Oh, no, it's cool.
It's a nice visual reference, and you always know where you're going because of that. Yeah, they're well-made levels.
And it reminds me of Mirror's Edge, which is, that's something in itself. When the first one, China, is coming out sometime at the end of next month, are you keen to play it after what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I will play it. I think as an Assassin's Creed fan... Oh, no. Sorry. Okay. I will play it. So, just touching briefly on the story, but not too much to bore you. It carries on, because episode 1, set in China, stars this assassin called Xiao Jun, who is referenced in several of the games and appears in Assassin's Creed Embers, which is the animated film short they put out, which wraps up the story of Ezio. And
I haven't watched that.
No, well, it's fine. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
It'll make you cry.
Really?
Sad things happen.
Awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's a plot thread which happens at the end of that, and it carries over into these games, and I think that is the thread that will possibly connect them all. It's to do with the MacGuffin. But,
Right. Good. That sounds I have no idea what it means. Okay, so an interesting thing I did want to ask you about is it's Climax Studios who are working on this, correct?
UK, yes.
Yeah, and
go England.
There is a kind of a little while ago they were working on a Prince of Persia prototype that came out, right? That
certainly looked like that.
Was also a side scroller. Looked remarkably similar to where.
Some have said this.
Would you say that maybe is what Assassin's Creed Chronicles
I can possibly confirm or deny
where they've come from?
They published these screenshots on their site,
right?
And it looked a lot like a Prince of Persia game. They didn't say
they didn't actually. Okay, right.
But I think they said they subsequently put out a statement saying we were working on this thing for Ubisoft. It was just a pitch, but lo and behold, a couple of years after they pitched this 2.5D Prince of Persia game, they're working on a 2.5D Assassin's Creed game. So I will say no more.
Excellent. Well, fair enough. There are actually some decent stealth elements going on from what I've seen. Like it handles that quite nicely. Actually, just having vision cones on a kind of 2D side scroller.
Having them in Assassin's Creed helps as well because, God, I mean...
You understand how the system works rather than kind of having to second guess it.
Yeah, at least, it's not always realistic because you can sort of cheat the system by just staying out of range of the cone, even though the guard is right behind you and it's, a long, empty corridor. At least you know that you're safe and it feels... If you are caught, well, I know why I've been caught.
It's your fault.
But in earlier Assassin's Creed games, AC3, there was no crouch. They only introduced crouch in Unity, and you'd be sitting in a bush somewhere, and some guard the other side of the map would somehow spot you, and you just
vision cones.
Vision cones are good. They certainly work in 2.5D.
Cool. Well, Chronicles is out next month. It looks alright. It looks okay.
Oh, it's good to be a fan of something. Someone needs to be a fan of it.
Yeah, someone needs to be a fan of Assassin's Creed. And cool. Well, thanks, Tom.
No worries.
Do you trust me? This is a really good trust exercise.
Trust is a strong word. Oh, there's a cushion. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't trust me.
Okay. Well, that doesn't exactly fill me with confidence.
Excellent. I can hear you. Ian? Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, I've got feet.
Oh, Aoife, this is really weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can just see you with your arms crossed in there. It's horrible.